Hello guys, what's up? So how are things with you guys? And I hope you are doing well. And so far we have completed all the chapters of 6th standard polity of Ncert. So today onwards we are starting a new class and all the chapters. That's the 7th class polity. So let's start, friends. So first chapter is equality in Indian democracy. So in the previous classes we have studied about the government democracy and the key elements of a democratic government, etc. So here a short introduction is given. So let's have a look into that. The key elements of a democratic government include people's participation, the resolution of conflict, and equality and justice. Equality is a key feature of democracy and influences all aspects of its functioning also. Okay, we are well known about how much importance this equality and justice have in our democracy. So in this chapter on equality, we will study more about equality and its importance in a democracy, and equality, the position of that is the role of equality for the people in our country. And the first part is the here equal right to vote. So let's discuss that. In a democratic country like India, all adults, irrespective of what religion they belong to, how much education they have had, and what caste they are, or whether they are rich or poor, are allowed to vote. So this is referred to as universal adult franchise. So we have studied universal adult franchise, and the idea of universal adult franchise is based on the idea of equality, because it states that every adult in a country has a right to vote. Then other kinds of equality. Apart from being poor, people in India experience inequality in different ways. Okay, so we will study what are the different ways in which the people experience the inequalities. One of the more common forms of inequality in India is the caste system. If you live in rural India, your caste identity is something that you probably learned or experienced very young. So, in your childhood, also, we have more experience about the caste system that is existing in our society. And if you are going to urban areas, the caste system is also existing in those areas also, because the when we have a look into the matrimonial sites from a daily English newspaper, we can see the how much influence these caste system have in your society. So so uh, urban area, in the sense, we have a thing that there are a lot of highly educated urban Indians are there. So even among the urban Indians, there is still caste system is existing. And here the term Dalit is given. So the Dalit means that represents the lower caste people, and Dalit means broken. Okay. And here Om Prakash Valmiki, he is a Dalit writer. So his autobiography is Judan. So he writes something in his autobiography is that I have to sit away from the others in the class, and that too on the floor. The match ran out before reaching the spot I sat on. Sometimes I would have to sit way behind everybody, right near to the door. Sometimes they would beat me without any reason. So here Om Prakash Valmiki discuss his and saying about his experience in his childhood, because as he was a Dalit student. And then Then comes recognizing dignity. We have studied that the caste system. How much influence has the caste system in our society. So it is creating a lot much discriminations in our country. So due to these types of caste system, a lot of inequalities are there, so that the people are ill treated in a manner. So that the dignity of the people also get violated. So when we discriminate the people against based on their caste system or their backgrounds, religions or cultural backgrounds like that, their dignity is also get violated. The next portion is the equality in Indian democracy. Okay, equality in Indian democracy. So we know our constitution, which is providing equality for all the persons in our India, including male, female persons from all caste, religions, tribes, educational and economic backgrounds are recognized as equal. But we know in early times, these much laws were not existed at that time to protect the people from discrimination and ill treatment. Now there are several laws, so that helps us to treat all the people in an equal manner with their dignity. So some of the provisions are there in our constitution to recognize the equality. Okay, first is that every person is equal before law. Okay, that is from the president of the country to a domestic worker has to obey the same laws. Second is that no persons can be discriminated against on the basis of their religion, race, caste, place of birth, or whether they are female or male. Third is that every person has access to all public places, including playgrounds, hotels, shops, and markets. And also, all persons can use publicly available wells, roads, and bathing guts for guts extra. And also, there is a last provision is untouchability has been abolished by our constitution. Even though there are certain provisions are there in our constitution, still there are major violations of these are existing in our country. Most of the inferior people in our country are not allowed to draw water from the wells of highly caste people in our country. So this is still there. The two ways in which the government has tried to implement the equality that is guaranteed in our constitution is first through providing certain laws, and second is through government schemes and programs, etc. So through the laws, we can protect every person's right to be treated equally. And in addition to the laws, there are certain government schemes are there. For example, the midday meal scheme. So that type of schemes is very good. It's very great. It's very good for all people in our country. That's so. The midday scheme, which refers to program introduced in all government elementary schools to provide children with cooked lunch. Tamil Nadu was the first state in India to introduce this midday scheme, and it was in 2001. The Supreme Court asked all state governments to implement these types of programs in their schools within 6 months. So these types of schemes have many positive effects in our society, and it includes and the more poor children have begun enrolling and regularly attending school. Okay, then the teachers reported that earlier children would often go home for lunch and then not return to school, but now with the midday meal being provided in school. So in earlier days, in afternoon sections, the students go to their homes for lunch, and they didn't get to school back. But after the midday scheme, this has changed, and the children got a well education also, a good education. Oh, okay. uh, and the children's attendance also get increased, improved. Their mothers who earlier had to interrupt their work to feed their children at home during the day now no longer need to do so. So this midday scheme is also is was very helpful for their parents also. This program has also helped the reduced caste prejudices, because children of all caste in the school eat this meal together and in quite a few places. So we know that when after the initiation of this midday scheme, all the children got equality, and without any caste based systems. So the among the children, these types of programs ensuring a type of equality. Okay. And the midday meals program also helps reduce the hunger of poor students who often come to school and cannot concentrate because their stomachs are empty. And so that these types of government programs play an important role in increasing equality of opportunity. Even though persons are aware that discrimination is against the law, they continue to treat people unequally on the basis of their caste, religion, disability, economic status, and because they are women. So it is saying that even though the people well known about these types of caste system is not good, but the people still they are imposing such systems on the society. And it is only when people begin to believe that no one is inferior and that every person deserves to be treated with dignity that present attitudes can change. Establishing equality in a democratic society is a continuous struggle, and one in which individuals as well as various communities in India contribute to. Okay, we still there are certain movements and struggles are there in order to ensure equality among the people. Then the next is issues of equality in other democracies. The truth is that in many democratic countries around the world, the issue of equality continues to be the key issue around which the communities struggle. So, for example, we know in the United States of America, the African Americans whose ancestors were the slaves who were brought over from Africa continues to describe their lives today as largely unequal. So even in most of the countries, these types of inequalities there. And for example, African Americans in United USA. So we know that recently there was news about an attack towards a lower caste black man. So and he dead. So it was very viral nowadays. And a lot of people, the movements are there struggling, the people are struggling a lot towards these types of against these types of inequalities existing in those developed countries also. Um, so there was also the civil rights movements also were there. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibited discrimination on the basis of race, religion, or national origin. Okay, so the Civil Rights Act was there in 1964, which prohibited all kinds of discrimination on the basis of race, religion, or national origin. And so still the African Americans continue to be amongst the poorest in the country. and most of African American children can only afford to attend government schools that have fewer facilities and poorly qualified teachers as compared to white students who either go to private schools or live in areas where they are government. So it is saying that in the USA, still the poor people are not allowed to go to the government, not allowed to go to good qualified or good schools. So only the white people, white children are allowed to get a good education there. So that much discrimination is still there. So finally, there is a excerpt from Article 15 of the Indian Constitution. So let's have a look into that. This Article 15 is based on prohibition of discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. Okay. So that the state shall not discriminate against any citizen on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth or any of them. And second is that no citizen shall on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth or any of them be subject to any disability, liability restriction or condition with regard to some of the public places, these hotels, restaurants, and access to shops. So just it is just for reading. So you have to focus only the point of that is purpose of Article 15. That is the prohibition of discrimination. Okay, on certain grounds. Then this challenge of democracy. No country can be described as being completely democratic because there are certain communities and individuals are there trying to expand the idea of democracy and push for a greater recognition of equality on existing as well as new issues. So it is saying that no country can be described as being completely democratic. So there are certain issues are there, the inequalities are there. That's why it is saying like that. So in the last exercise section, certain questions are there. In a democracy, why is universal adult franchise is important? And second is that what do you understand by the term all persons are equal before the law? So and why do you think that it is important in a democracy? And the next question saying about the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act, that is 2016. Okay, the act that is Person with Disabilities Act is 2016. The persons with disabilities have equal rights and that the government should make possible their full participation in society. The government has to provide free education and integrate children with disabilities into mainstream schools. This law also states that all public places including buildings, schools, etc. should be accessible and provided with ramps. So thank you friends, it's all about our first chapter of class 7. And I am very grateful to see you guys for listening, kind listening friends, and it's very kind of you guys. So see you again. So here a glossary is given friends, you can just have a look at it. Universal adult franchise, dignity, constitution, civil rights movement. If you have an interest or you are and you know or you don't about these terms, you can just look into it. Okay, bye friends.